let's go, something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, welcome back to the pod. This month we're talking about Skyblazer on the Super Nintendo, plus the Mario movie, Google Stadia, Mortal Kombat, Grapple Dog, and Tibbs has made an exciting new purchase. Come join us for episode 47 of Podemup. Hello, welcome to episode, I briefly forgot what episode we're on now, I think it's 47.
Let's go with 47.
47, yes. Welcome to 47 of Podemup. I'm Ollie, that man is Tibbs. Hello,
I'm
Tibbs.
Tibbs. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
Are you okay?
I'm alright, yes, I'm fine.
Good.
We're all fine. We're recording in the afternoon again today.
Feels weird.
It does feel weird, yeah, it feels a bit weird. But, what have you been up to?
Been playing some games.
Games.
I've got to be honest,
Mm.
I haven't played as much of the book club game as I would have liked. But
Naughty corner, Tibbs, naughty corner. Get in there.
there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Steam Deck.
No way.
Yes.
Whoa. Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, I say I bought it. I whacked it on the credit card, so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to be stressing about that for the next sort of 7 or 8 years. But
Okay. Oh, cool. What inspired that then?
well, I actually had it on pre-order like way back, like when they announced it. I put in a pre-order. You had to put down like £4 or £5 to reserve one,
Okay.
and I completely forgot about it. And it was a week before they went on general sale. I got a message through saying, "Oh, your reservation is now available to purchase if you like."
Oh, right.
So I was like,
So you hadn't committed to it then? You could back out at that point?
"Oh, you could back out, yeah,
Yeah.
if you backed out, you got your £4 back, and that was it."
Yeah.
But it'd just been on there for so long, I completely forgotten I'd ordered it.
Okay.
So I thought, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what it's like. It's for the show. It's for the show.
For the show, yes.
More than anything.
It's quite an expense for the show, but yeah.
I thought,
okay.
write it off as a business expense.
Yeah,
And then I realised we're not a business.
We're
but
not a
then
business,
it was done.
Okay, cool.
So I've been a little bit distracted with
Okay,
that. So I
that's fair
have
enough.
played the game, but I didn't complete it.
No, I didn't complete it either, no. But
It's quite a long game. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
What a lovely bit of kit.
Really?
It's really nice.
Well, awesome.
Played Stray on it.
Yeah.
Runs like a dream. Like a little
Beautiful.
catty dream. A handheld. Amazing.
It's pretty powerful, isn't it? What
It's
you
so
can do.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good, honestly. Yeah, I mean, like I've mentioned before, with PC gaming, I've kind of taken a back seat on it because my laptop couldn't run anything
Yeah.
really half decent. So hopefully with the Steam Deck, I'll be able to, play a few more PC games now.
Yeah, well, it's a big library that opens up to you. I mean, you can sort of play most things really, apart from the console exclusives. Pretty much everything's on Steam,
Yeah.
really. So yeah.
And for emulation, man, it's superb. Like,
Have you, or are you planning to just put a different operating system on it and just play anything, or are you just
No.
sticking to the Steam library?
no, I'll stick to the built-in operating system. It's like a really super optimized version of Linux on there.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, so it runs games really, really well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it uses a thing called Proton, which is like a
Yeah, I've heard of this.
yeah, it's a sort of compatibility layer, so it lets you run Windows applications on Linux or Mac or whatever, and it sort of converts it. I've used similar things because my day-to-day operating system for years I've always been Linux.
Yeah.
So there's a similar technology on there called Wine, which lets you run certain Windows applications, but it's really good software, but it's kind of a bit flaky. There's lots of caveats to using it. Proton just runs like a dream, honestly.
Wow.
I've encountered one game out of my existing Steam library that didn't work with it. Everything else, Windows exclusive games, big sort of AAA games as well, like Halo, Stray, and these big ticket games, they run just as good as they would on an actual native Windows operating system. I'm really impressed.
Oh, that's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I guess it, because it's all a Steam thing, I guess there's no problems like installing things. Like sometimes when you do it on a PC, you've got to mess around with whatever it is, Windows distributable something or other, just to get things working. But I'd imagine it all just goes like as if it were just a normal console, I guess.
Yeah, it does it. Yeah, it's just like a normal. If you plug it into your TV, you can get little docks for them, or you can just plug in like a generic USB dock.
All right.
And it comes up on the telly. It's just the experience is just like a console. So you just press it, it downloads it, it installs. If there's any like you say, the Microsoft V, C++, redistributable, or all these sort of things that you have to get installed first, Microsoft.net, all that sort of rubbish.
Yeah.
Does it all for you.
Fantastic.
It's really great. It's also got like a desktop mode, so you can switch into desktop mode and you actually get a full Linux desktop on there.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can use, and it is just a proper Linux KDE desktop, so you can use it like a computer, browse, word process, all the normal stuff.
Yeah.
But it means you can access all the files for the games as well, so you any mods you want to do and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
There's you can do all the mods and things. I love it. It's one of the best sort of console gaming things I think I've ever bought. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's a definite sort of contender now with in the new console generation, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good.
And it's really comfortable. I can't. It's really nice to hold. Like the Switch, my hands cramp a bit if I use the Switch for too long.
Yeah.
I do get sort of cramped hands. But not with this. It's tailor-made.
It's funny because some parts of it do look a bit odd, like how close like the D-pad is and the analog stick is to the edge. But I guess that it makes sense when you're holding it, I guess.
Oh, totally does. It makes complete sense when you're holding it. I'm really impressed with it. So I'm going to get the most out of it before the credit card company repossess it.
Yes. Perhaps we should start a GoFundMe for your Steam Deck.
We might need to start getting some advertisers on board. Yes. Get a Patreon going.
We've got to pay for the Steam Deck.
Pay for Tibbs' Steam Deck. Pay for Tibbs' financial indiscretions.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start a Patreon and we can put like videos of you just playing on the Steam Deck, just to just so people can get something back.
We'll do a little photo of me looking a bit sad, holding a Steam Deck.
A Steam Deck in one hand and a credit card in the other.
Yeah. That's I've been messing about with that a lot. But yeah, like emulation wise, it's really good. What was I think it was Super Mario. What's the one on the Wii U called? 3D World.
The Wii U emulator you're playing on?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, SEMU, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a video of that running, so that's my project today, to get Super Mario 3D Land, 3D World, whichever one was on the Wii U, to get that running portably, because I've seen videos online and it runs like perfect, like it would on an actual Wii U. So that's my project for later today, see if I can get that going.
Yeah, I haven't even been brave enough to tackle like Wii U and PS3 emulation on my computer. I think it can probably do it to a reasonable extent, but I don't know about perfect. But yeah, it's I'm sure that'll be able to do it.
Yeah, there is a PS3 emulator on available for the Steam Deck, but I think that's a bit beyond what it's capable of doing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking some of it because I use I forgot what it's called now, the 360 one, and that runs like some of the Xbox Live Arcade games quite well. Like I did Banjo-Kazooie on it, and that ran flawlessly. So I'm thinking the PS3 one might be good for some of the smaller PSN games and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about the bigger ones.
Yeah. But yeah, I give it a full recommendation.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Very good.
What about you? What have you been doing?
I've been playing a bit of Grapple Dog.
Oh yes.
Which you very kindly gave the Steam key to me when you were doing your Steam key bonanza a couple of months ago. So that's it's like, if you haven't seen it, it's like a 2D platformer where you play as a little dog with a grappling hook. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely, charming little game, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. I love just the general flow of it. Like you grapple hook and you swing along and you grab something else. And I love platformers that just have that sort of flow and momentum to it. It's really good. I must say, there are parts of the momentum system that I'm still struggling with, like particularly the springy blocks. They tend to just force you into a direction.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to be more like Sonic Springs, where you've got
a bit of freedom with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you basically maintain your horizontal movement and you can do what you want. But these tend to force you in one direction or the other, which is never quite clear. I can never quite predict what they're going to do. So I'm still struggling with that, really. But other than that, it's a really good, fun game.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing some of the games I got on the PS Plus thing. When we did Stray last month, we mentioned then I signed up to the PS Plus trial, which extended to a month. So I've been playing a few games on that just to try them out, really, as demos, really, more than anything else. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Oh yeah.
They did release it a few years ago now, but it's a spiritual successor to sort of Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, it's Castlevania all but name, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I really like it a lot, but I can't get past the first boss. Like, really, really strong. I've tried so many times, and I'd like to buy it, but I just think, am I actually going to get a game out of this and not a demo? Because am I ever going to beat that? And if I do, how much tougher is it going to be after that? So it's one of those things. You ever get games like that where you think, I really want that, but I don't think I'll be able to actually play it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Cuphead is another one for me. I really want to get Cuphead.
Yeah, I really wanted to like Cuphead, but I played it. I did actually buy it, but on the day it came out, because I would seen all the previews in the run up to it, and I thought, oh, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so hard.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I really want to just try it, but I'm just going to waste my money. I'm basically going to pay for a demo, I think.
Is it like an age thing? Is it like if we were still at school and Cuphead was the only game we had for 6 months, we'd just plow into it and we would be experts at it, but with being adults and all the other things that pull our attention away,
I don't have time to just try and get good at something. I don't have the time for that. If it's not if I'm not making decent amount of progress, I just won't be able to commit to it, I think.
Yeah, it's not as being bad at it, and if anything, it's as being too good at other things in our lives.
That's
the thing. Yeah.
Yes, that's quite right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have I been playing? Spider-Man Miles Morales, gave that a quick go. That's like the sequel to the Spider-Man game I played a few years ago. That's pretty good. More of the same, really. Kiwi, that's quite a fun little kind of co-op coordination type game where you play as 2 kiwi birds, and they are taking control of like this telegraph office. So they've got to jump on the different like typing things to type out the message that you get, and then they've got to print out the message, put it in the backpack of another animal that then runs off, and it's kind of like this coordination thing. You've got to get it all right, and you can do 2 players, or you can switch the control between the 2 kiwis.
I've never heard of this game before.
It's quite cute. It's one of those charming little sort of indie kind of fun games. Yeah, look it up. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Kiwi, like key, the lock key, and then we. That was quite fun. And God of War, I gave a little bit of a go. The not the new one, but
the old new one.
The old new one, yeah. I played that very briefly. I played the tutorial, got a bit stuck on opening a gate, and I gave up. But the thing that really, there's a really silly thing that irked me about it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it after I seen it. Right at the beginning of the game, your Kratos is the name of your character? Yeah. He's chopping down a tree. At the very, very beginning, he's chopping down a tree, and the tree falls. And I know he's supposed to be a big bloke and everything, but he picks up this tree, and the way he picks it up is as if it's inflatable. Like, there's no weight to it at all. Like, I know he's supposed to be really big and tough, but he literally just picks it up as if it's full of air. And it really bothered me. I'm like, because everything else about it looked like amazing, obviously super realistic. I was like, wow, this looks incredible. And then he just like, whoop.
Well, I mean, he is the god of war, you know.
I know, but it's just I
It
don't
just
know.
doesn't
It
look
just
like it's
seems
got any weight to it at all.
no. It just kind of I would have just had him like heaving because it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty impressive anyway to just pick up an entire thick tree trunk. This isn't like a thin one; it's a really big, thick, meaty tree trunk. So it would just for him to pick up and put it on his shoulder with some effort would have impressed me enough. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Just it's gone too far though. Too far. No, I don't believe that. No.
That ruined it. Ruined the realism. Took
It's
you
a
right
bit
out
like
of it.
it's a bit like when we were talking about wrestling, and it was like that invisible hand grenade thing. It's like no, you're taking too far.
Yeah,
I'm willing to go along with you for a certain amount, but if you're chucking invisible hand grenades around, that's me out. No.
Oh, did you ever look up that invisible hand grenade?
I
bit?
didn't. No,
Oh
I should do.
Yeah. Oh, nonsense! Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, that's all really I can think of. I've played a few other ones, but I can't think what they were now.
I did play through because there's another 30th anniversary that we haven't mentioned. Everyone's talking about the Sonic one and that. It's Mortal Kombat.
Oh right, yeah.
30 years of Mortal Kombat.
30 years, wow. Okay.
I played through Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
The story modes on the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lovely! Works all beautiful.
Mm.
They're really good. They're really good games.
All right.
The story mode, because I mean, you know, everyone knows Mortal Kombat and the controversy that was around it back when it launched and all that. It's got this reputation for being this sort of super violent game.
Yeah.
And the new games are like grotesquely, comically gory and violent.
I was going to say, because like in the old days, they were sort of just a bit silly kind of violence, wasn't it? It was like these sort of, obviously it kind of had used like photos of real actors, didn't it, for the sprites?
Yeah.
And it just kind of looked a bit, because it was like splats of blood flying everywhere. And my friends always played it. I never really got into it because it just looked a bit kind of dumb to me. Do you know what I mean? Just like really sort of stupid. So I quite liked when they talked about the story and stuff. I quite like the story, and I quite like the movie as well. The old movie.
The movie, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never really got into the games, and it's always struck me that when they go into 3D and like do it modern, I think I thought it might just stop being not so goofy and stop being like really quite grotesque and horrible and just not something I'd want to ever look at. But
there is a lot of grotesqueries and horrible things on there. Like with Mortal Kombat 9 and 10, you get these X-ray moves that you can use. I think you can use it once a match. You build up your special bar, and if you hit the 2 shoulder buttons, you do an X-ray move, and basically you see an X-ray sort of cross section of your opponent, and you're like punch him in the face and you see all the skull sort of splinter and shatter in like an X-ray view, and it's all slow motion and super gory and everything.
Lovely, yeah.
But it's still like, it's so goofy that you can't really get offended by it. Like in Mortal Kombat 11, Johnny Cage, his fatality is he will punch his hand through his opponent's body, rip them in half, and then use them as a little ventriloquist dummy. he tells a joke. He goes like, what did you do, Johnny? And he goes, oh, I just did what you told me to. That's not what I meant by the splits. And then the crowd boos, and a tomato flies and hits the opponent in the face to get hit with a squashed tomato, and that's his fatality. So it's like super gory, but it's like really.
So it hasn't lost its sense of humour then.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just really enjoyable. It's really enjoyable, and I really like how they've really fleshed out like the mythology and the characters and the story mode. It's just pure comic book goofiness, but it's actually really quite compelling. Like by the time you're sort of 2 or 3 chapters in, you're actually quite invested in the story and hoping the good guys win and the bad guys lose. And it's really good. It's really good. I enjoyed my time with it. I was hoping that for like the 30th anniversary they'd announce a new Mortal Kombat, which they did, and it's going to be a mobile game. So that immediately sapped all my interest in it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, no, I saw you tweet about that the other day.
Yeah, just this. there.
Yeah, let's celebrate with a mobile game.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd think we criticised. Well, I would say it's fair to criticise Sega for the lackluster celebration of Sonic's anniversary.
Yeah, I think it was a bit delayed. That's
it was
the problem.
A bit delayed.
It's like happening this year rather than last year, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
With all the stuff, yeah.
But I thought they could have done made it a bit more of a better effort, and I had the same criticism about Tomb Raider when they Tomb Raider's anniversary, which I would completely forgive you if you forgot it was even a thing.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it, and that's all I heard of it. Really.
Yeah. I think them big ticket event was they were releasing a Tomb Raider cookbook. That was the big celebration. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mortal Kombat one, it was like a 1-minute video on YouTube with a few clips from the games over the years and a mobile game. It's like, just don't bother. Just put a tweet out saying, "Oh,
we were going to give you a mobile game, but we decided it was a bit rubbish, so we didn't bother."
We didn't bother. You know,
that'd be better than actually releasing a mobile game.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say if you're interested in Mortal Kombat, I would definitely give the newer games a try because they're just big, daft fun.
News.
Oh, news.
News.
Fishing game. What's it called?
Oh, the Big Catch. Yes,
Big
Catch. That was not only was it fully funded, it reached all of its stretch goals.
Yeah.
And we're getting a Switch version as a result.
Yeah, lovely.
How awesome is that? Yeah, this was the incoming indie we talked about last month, if you're not sure what we're talking about. So you can go back and listen to that. But it's lovely 3D platformer about a fisherman.
Yeah.
I backed it.
I
think you
backed it
as well, didn't you? Yeah. So cool. So we'll be getting that. Awesome. That's next year. Elsewhere in the news, Google Stadia. Bit the dust, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Good. I like your tweet, and nothing of value was lost.
Yes.
Yeah. It's only good for preservation, really, isn't it? It's all good for, to discourage more companies doing only online, server-based gameplay of everything would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
And there is one game that's been completely lost now. I can't remember which one it is. It was a Stadia exclusive, and the developers have said they've got no intention of releasing it on other platforms. It's just that's it. It's gone now.
Yeah,
it's just gone.
Great.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, we could release it on other platforms, but we'll just let it be a lesson to never do this again.
Well, yes, but
they will.
I'm going to say Xbox. What's it called? xCloud, Project xCloud, and the PlayStation have got their own streaming one now. At the moment, it's not positioned in the same way that Stadia was, but I think the spectre of cloud gaming hasn't quite disappeared yet.
No, I expect not. But I think it needs that infrastructure to actually work in the first place, and I think not enough people have access to good, reliable internet really to make it work properly. I mean, there's loads of videos about people like trying it and just start pressing a button, and like 3 seconds later the move would happen and things like that. So
that's the thing that I didn't hear talked enough about with Google Stadia. Because in the aftermath of it, everyone was putting up videos on YouTube and stuff talking about it, and a few channels were showing some of the very early interviews and discussions with Google when they were drumming up interest for it, and the subject of latency came up, and Google said, they've got the best technology, the best servers, latency's not going to be an issue, blah, blah, blah. And part of the reason for that is the way Google Stadia worked, it would predict your inputs to try and counteract the latency. So it will be making inputs into the game that you weren't making.
Yeah. How can it predict it's basically playing the game for you, essentially.
Yeah. So you think
I don't think that works. They're thinking of a movie or something where it's a predefined thing, like doing the frames before you see them. That's not the way a game works. Google.
No, it's not at all. And even if the prediction was really good, I don't like it as on principle. I want to play the game. I don't want the computer playing the game for me or guessing what buttons I'm going to press. I don't want that.
I don't think it's possible. I'm thinking of just a normal platformer like Skyblazer, for example, the game we'll talk about later. How is it going to? I could move around that level in any number of ways. Can it possibly predict that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing is flawed. From the start. I don't. I'm glad it's gone, and may it never darken our door again.
Yeah. Was there something about the controllers, like the potentially they won't be able to use them for anything else? I see something like that.
Yeah, I think the controllers are linked specifically to the Google servers. And I don't think there's been any plans announced because you could basically just repurpose them as normal controllers if the firmware allowed.
Yeah.
But I don't think Google have announced any plans to do that. So unless the community comes up with some kind of hack or exploit to repurpose them, then it's just tons and tons of e-waste, basically.
Yeah. You've got a controller-shaped paperweight.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's... So not only is it gone, and not a thing anymore, it's just left a load of e-waste lying around, basically. Yeah.
Well, I've still got my OnLive
the OnLive thing,
and the controller for that. Would you want a bad little controller? But you can't do anything with that. That's just sat around in a box.
It's irresponsible.
It is, really. It is. And because I can understand them. If it was an active service, they don't want people using their controllers on other systems. I don't agree with it, but that's the way companies think, and nothing's going to change that. But if the service is shutting down anyway, they're not losing anything by just opening up the controllers to let anyone use them for what they want, are they?
No.
Exactly. It's literally no negative for them at all by doing that.
No. And they had to give back the money people spent on buying games through the service. Is that right?
They did. They gave everyone a refund, and to their credit, they didn't have to do that because I know OnLive didn't do that. So to their credit, that is good, but it is the only morally correct thing to do when you're charging people for games that they don't physically own or have any rights to. Then
it was. I mean, being a service that you pay for on a subscription is one thing. That's understandable way of doing it. But making you pay for the games on an individual basis in some cases, it's just that always seemed fair. I would not have done that.
Well, no, imagine if Netflix had launched and said, right, it's £10 a month plus every film you watch will be £20. No one would. It would never get off the ground. But for games, everyone's like, oh well, that's okay.
Yeah. Right. Oh well, so let's not talk about that again.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yeah, that's me wiping my hands of the whole thing. Mario movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that looked quite good, didn't it?
It did look quite good, actually.
Yeah, I liked it. I think there was a lot of undue skepticism towards that before the trailer was released. I think it works well. Like I said when it was announced, I don't think just a whole movie of Mario jumping around going yippee woohoo yay would have worked as a movie. I don't think so. I think you got to have some sort of voice acting in there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there was a noticeable amount of discussion saying that Charles Martinet should have been the voice actor for it. The guy who does the actual voice. I hope that is his name, isn't it? Charles Martinet.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
But I think it was Retro Electro. I forgot the gentleman's name. The guy who's been on our show. Vic. Yeah. He tweeted and said, quite rightly, a whole film of "It's me, I'm Mario, oh Luigi," it would have been. Quite grating.
It works in little cutscenes amongst the game. It doesn't work as a 2-hour movie.
For a 2-hour movie, no. I mean, it would be very easy to be all sort of cynical and it's a load of rubbish, but I thought it was all right. I wasn't a big fan of Mario's voice, but I think what else could they do?
There's a fine line, I suppose, because these days, accents and things, people get a bit upset about them, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can see why they would want to just go play it straight and have Chris Pratt do his normal voice rather than putting on like a Italian accent and things like that.
And that's the thing; it is just Chris Pratt's normal voice.
Yeah, it is. To be honest, I wasn't expecting anything other than that. To be honest, given I think if it were released 10, 20 years ago, you might have seen something different. But the climates for things like that is a bit different these days. So,
I really like Bowser's voice. Is that Jack Black doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Black doing it. Yeah, I thought he'd be quite good at that.
Yeah,
it did look good. I like the general humour in it, like that bit with all the Mario 64 penguins. There's chucking snowballs and it zooms out and it's just making no impact whatsoever.
Do you yield?
Yeah.
I do not.
I think it'll be really good. I think it'll be full of humour.
Yeah.
I think so. When's it out? It's next April or something.
I think it's next April. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll all go and see it. Me and the family. Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was a bit skeptical because the animation studio doing it, I'm not a particular fan of. The guy, the one that they do the Minions and all that kind of thing. It's not really my cup of tea at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. I think it looks like a good fun film.
Yeah, I mean, very very true to the games as well. You can just take one look at it. You can see all the game. It's literally just the games translated into a movie, you know, isn't it? So,
I didn't like Toad's voice. I like Toad to have his little gravelly, squeaky voice.
I thought it sounded quite similar. I can't think now.
Yeah, I can't do a Toad voice, but he's got that kind of like
yeah.
Doesn't sound like him at all. But
I don't know why they didn't hire us to do Toad's voice. To be honest, what does Toad sound like? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, let's go, something like that.
Yes. But yeah, so yeah, good work, Nintendo. You're doing good jobs.
Keep it up. Yeah. We'll check it out. Yeah.
Incoming indie.
I got another incoming indie for you.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, so remember last episode when we were talking about why Nintendo don't make new F-Zero again? There's a guy who's done it, basically. It's called Aero GPX. It's being kickstarted right now. I think it's almost, or might even by now have been funded. And it's got like loads of days left, so obviously people are pretty keen for this. So yes, a futuristic racer, very similar to F-Zero. It's got a demo out which I tried a couple of nights ago. Very nice on Steam. Particularly F-Zero X on the N64 is particularly similar to. So it's got a nice sort of cell shaded look as well.
I was going to say, I'm just looking at it now. Nice cell shady. Yeah, good.
Very smooth looking. Lots of crazy tracks, big cylindrical structures to go around, things like that. Very simple, nice little soundtrack. It's like 30 racers on screen at once, that kind of thing. So yeah, but I mean, there's been quite a few futuristic racers, but not many of them have been particularly like F-Zero. So this is the most F-Zero-ish one I've seen.
They generally try to sort of mimic Wipeout, I think.
It's more Wipeout, yes. So this is a bit refreshing in that regard. So yeah, it looks really nice. If Nintendo won't do it,
really nice. Yeah,
some other guy will, and he's done it. I assume it's just one guy. I think it's just one guy, but it might be a little team. So I don't know.
Aaron McDevitt.
That's the guy.
Aaron McDevitt does what Nintendo don't.
Indeed, yes. What Nintendo won't.
Nintendo won't. That's good, isn't it? It's smooth. It's smooth like a quail's egg. Look at that.
Very, very nice. Yeah, go and check it out. Aero GPX is the name of the game.
I'm still looking at that Kickstarter page. It's got a guy on there who looks at one of the characters. He's like Dr. Octopus, but he's just got like little power cables hanging out his back instead of octopus arms. That's quite good.
Yes, I think it's going to have like characters like F-Zero does and things like that.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. How much? 20 quid, $20, £18.
Not bad. Okay. Yeah, give the demo a try as well. See if it's your cup of tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Right then, Skyblazer is what we're talking about this month.
Yeah.
Little SNES platformer. We're going to talk about that after the break.
Video Game Book Club.
Hello, welcome back. Today we are talking about a game called Skyblazer. It was developed by Ukiyote, I think is how you pronounce it, published by Sony ImageSoft and released exclusively for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in January 1994 in the US, February in Japan, and March in Europe. As you'd imagine, being a relatively obscure SNES game, it's not exactly going for peanuts on eBay. Loose cart, I think, is about 75 quid. Box, you're looking at about £200 to £300.
Yes.
So, give it an emulation. Such a shame about SNES games and the prices of them, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, all retro games in general, but SNES is particularly hard hit.
This the Nintendo tax, really, isn't it? The older your Nintendo system, the more you're going to play.
Yeah, it's a complete aside, but I was looking at I was considering getting Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. It's like, I don't know, like 40 quid or something. Mm-hmm. And I thought, just out of interest, I'll just see how much Splatoon 2 is going for at the moment. 40 quid, second hand.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense at all?
No, not really, no.
It's only Nintendo games that this phenomena happens to. It's
they
so
seem
strange.
To maintain, Nintendo first-party games maintain their price until the console gets replaced by the next one, and they'll dip a bit, and then they'll go back up again.
Then they just go up, yeah.
So, the best time to play any Nintendo game is maybe a year or two after the console's been replaced by the next one, I think, probably, because the Wii U games, I think, are starting to creep up again.
They're starting to creep up again.
But for a while, you could get, Smash Brothers for tenner or something like that, things like that. So that's the time, but we're long past that with the SNES days, unfortunately.
Yeah, afraid so.
Yeah.
But I said on the last show that I'd never heard of this game before.
Yeah.
I was mistaken. I realised when we got to a particular level on this that I had heard of it before, and I think it was on Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay.
Or something like that. With someone getting very frustrated with a particular stage.
Okay.
And I think that was the same stage that I got to and got very frustrated with.
Oh, right. Okay. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Yes.
It's a 2D platformer. You play as Sky as he seeks to save the sorceress Ariana from Ashura, the Lord of War. So, it's quite a nice sort of simple little character. He's like a boy or a young man, got kind of a yellow and blue suit of armor kind of thing. You can do quite a few different things. He can climb walls and go up and down. He can punch, kick. He can fly to some extent in certain levels. The whole game's got kind of an oldie sort of worldy, a bit Zelda-esque. So it's that sort of setting for the levels. And you can also there's also like a magic meter, isn't there, for particular moves that you can get. But yeah. So how do you get on with it?
I quite liked what I played. It kind of reminded me. I don't know if you'll agree with this. Have you played Strider?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It kind of reminded like the platforming, but the way he handles it was kind of like half sort of Ninja Gaiden and half Strider. I think it reminded me of.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And I quite like that. I would have liked a lot. Maybe the levels a bit more. Not like Metroidvania, but a lot more opportunity to use the flipping, and because some of the levels it felt like it was a bit the obstacles to get over. But I would have liked something a bit where you could, if you really learned all the mechanics, you could do like really tricky things and get over. A bit more acrobatic. I think is what I'm trying to get to.
Yes,
but I think it handled really well. I enjoyed what little I played of it.
Yeah.
For my sins, but.
That's all right. It's we said just in the break. It's about 17 levels. It's fairly forgiving. There is a fair bit of difficulty in the game, which we'll get into in a minute. But there's a world map, a bit like a Mario map, that connects all the levels, and you go along, and you get these little temple things, and that's your save points. But you've got unlimited continues really. So if you lose all your lives, you'll go back to that save point. But unlike Mario, you don't have to do the levels again that you've already completed after that save point, so you can go straight back to the level that you were on, which is quite good. So you can keep trying. There's an old man in there that sort of doesn't really seem to like you very much.
No, just kidding.
He's not very nice to you, is he?
What was the other game we played where the person that would there's like your mentor or someone, or you just didn't like you and berated you the whole time?
Katamari Damacy? Was that
Yes,
what you're thinking of?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, same vibe.
I quite like it as a sort of a trope. It's quite a nice. It's quite funny, isn't it? Just to have someone constantly putting you down, no matter how well you're doing. It's quite funny. Yeah. So it's kind of got these potion things where you can replenish your magic meter, and throughout the game you get different abilities to do. I think it's the Y button for an ability. So things like a forward dash, firing a projectile, healing yourself was the one you get later on, turning yourself invincible. And you get quite a few through the course of the game. You get them by beating bosses in certain levels, and you switch between them with the side triggers on the controller. I do often forget about them though. I tend to just punch and kick my way through a lot of stuff. I don't know about you.
Yeah, kind of just brute force it.
Yeah, I did find the collision a bit unforgiving, a bit brutal. Like as you get further into the game, you notice there's more and more. It's almost as if they've drawn the collision box just completely around the sprite, just to fill it in completely, rather than a smaller box in the middle to give you a little bit of forgiveness. It feels with most enemies like a whole box is drawn around them, and you can collide with them just by like your box and the corner of your box and their box touching each other. You feel like you didn't even really touch that thing. It was just the edges of their boxes, and that's a collision.
Yeah,
it's okay in the first few levels, but it does get a bit annoying, especially later on. You find you've got a health bar, but some things take off 1 health and other things take off more than 1 health and even kill you immediately, and there's not much consistency to those things. Like bumping into an enemy will take off 1, but getting zapped by their projectile thing will just kill you immediately, and which kind of makes sense in a real world scenario. Like if there's like a bad guy and you bump into him from behind, you're not going to get as hurt as him turning around and stabbing you. But in a game, you kind of want that sort of consistency. You kind of want to know if you're going to take a risk and go and jump towards a bad guy and try and jump over him. You kind of want to know how much health you're going to take off if you incur their wrath. And it was quite difficult to sort of jump ahead and predict that, I found.
Yeah.
And also the punch and kick move, you kind of have to be really up close to them for it to be effective.
For it to register, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of, you take a big risk just by going straight up to them without those dodgy hit areas, you know. There's when you're on the first island that you're on, you go through the levels. When you finish that, you do a little flying mini game. I don't know, you didn't get this far.
I didn't get that far. No, I watched some videos of it because I knew I was not going to get stuck. But yeah, sort of the mode 7 levels.
Yes, so they're quite cool. You just collect the gems. I think if you get 100 gems, you get an extra life. So it's kind of like a sprite scaling kind of Space Harrier almost, just spinning or dodging the spike balls that come up and grabbing the things. And then whenever you fall like that, that's kind of like the bonus level. And then you go to another island, and it's a bit more open there. You've got different routes to go, and the old man says you've got to find all 4 of these abilities, these extra abilities, before I'm going to let you progress. But you can get them in any order, so you can go down different routes and do different levels, and there's sort of different mini levels along the way as well. The bosses are really, really tough.
That's where I got stuck with it.
Some of them are
bloody
okay.
woodlouse thing. I don't know if he's meant to be a woodlouse. You know the one I mean.
That big,
the big roly-poly.
The big roly-poly. I think that's at the top of the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got that. Okay. So you got that. Yeah, that was hard. It's just you're in quite a small room, and there's this massive woodlouse type thing with an eyeball in the middle. He opens up and he fires projectiles at you. But the more you hit him, the bigger he gets. Yeah. And it's just like, it becomes almost impossible to avoid him.
Oh, it did my head in, honestly.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Yeah. I must say, I did a lot of save stating from that point onwards, really. I don't know about you.
I kept going back to that bit because I wanted to play through it all,
Yeah,
but I ended up rage quitting on that. I think I got so. And there's a bit because are we talking about the tower?
yeah, we can talk about the tower. Yeah,
There's a bit going up the tower. I mean, you go up this great tall tower, and it's really this is the bit that reminded me because I've seen this tower on some like I said, I think it was Angry Video Game Nerd or something like that.
yeah.
Where it was someone just getting absolutely enraged trying to make their way up this tower. And there's this bit where the blocks come in and out, and you've got to jump up them in as they come out before they go back in again.
Yeah, really tiny blocks.
Yeah. It's just something in my brain that doesn't work with that gameplay mechanic.
Oh, right.
You know, I have the same issue on Sonic 1 on Scrap Brain Zone. You know, you've got those little platforms that spin round and then they go flat and then they spin round.
Yeah.
I can't do them either. I just can't get in the rhythm of it. And it's any game that has that mechanic where you've got to jump to the next, to the next, to the next in the rhythm of them going in and out.
Yeah, the platforms disappear in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, and my brain just can't do it. I can't. And I was falling and falling and falling, and I said, "Oh!"
Yeah, I had the same sort of difficulties. That's where I really broke out the save states. I've no shame in admitting it. You know, I try whenever I try one of these games. I start out right. I'm not going to do save states. I'm going to try and do it with my own pure skill, and I'll get through the first couple of levels, and then sooner or later there will be a really annoying bit like that, and you just think, oh, just one save state, just at the beginning of this bit.
No one will know.
No one will know. One save state. And then as you get on, you just do save state here, save state here. Oh, we've got one hit on the boss, save state, save
Every
state.
time you move to a new screen, save state.
Yeah, save state. Yeah, it literally does get like that. And I think, well, I'm not really playing this anymore. But you know, to be fair, I don't have a lot of time. It's like we were saying earlier. You know, I don't have the time to fail over and over again on a game. So it's kind of bringing more modern sensibilities to a retro game, I try to think of it as.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking about Mortal Kombat earlier. In Mortal Kombat 11, they've got an option on there now where you can skip a fight if it's too difficult.
Oh, okay.
And you know, I'm fine for, you know, I've no objection to difficulty levels in games and things like that. But skipping a fight in Mortal Kombat, no.
Can you just do that over and over again if you want to?
I think you can do it a limited number of times, and then I think you can buy more skip level options with like in-game currency that you earn and things like that.
I think that's a fair way of doing it. To be fair, I think always giving you that option, because I've played games, I can't think of many off the top of my head, but there's definitely possibly even some Nintendo games where I think it was Donkey Kong Country Returns. I think. When they've got like the help thing where it plays it for you. Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think that's right. I think it plays it for you. And it got to the later on in the level, I kept using that more and more. And I'm just basically watching the gameplay itself. And I'm like, this is, I might as well just watch this on YouTube. So there's a balance to do to that thing. I think it's good that they start lending those helping hands out nowadays, because it is annoying when you're stuck on something. Well, you just want to all you want to do is get past it to see what the next thing is.
Yeah.
There's a balancing act, I think, with that.
But yes, so this tower of peril.
Yeah, Tower of Peril. Yeah. So you got the boss. You must have got there in the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. I got there in the end. Yeah, but because you go up this tower, up the things, and then there's little rooms that you go into, little challenge rooms along the way.
Yes.
And they're a pain in the backside as well. The whole tower thing is just an exercise in pain, really.
Yes. I didn't quite finish it, but I think the next level I have to do, I think I'm only 2 or 3 from the end, but I think it's another tower.
There is another tower at the end, I believe.
Yeah. So not looking forward to that. I don't. Yes, but once you get past the tower, there's quite a variety of levels. I don't know if you saw some of them in the YouTube.
I did, yeah.
There's, as you might have seen one of these, it's like an auto-scrolling flying level where you've got an infinite jump. Your wings are out, and that's quite good because you're just kind of dodging enemies. There's the underwater level. That was a bit annoying, actually. It's kind of an underwater maze, and you've got to flip switches to change the currents of the water. And then you'll go in the door, and then you'll turn up in another place. That's kind of annoying, but it's got a bit of variety. There's a level that reminded me of Mischief Makers. It had loads of like stacked blocks everywhere. You remember the Mischief Makers where the guy was
yes.
in, oh, you're in my hospital, you know, because it's just load of stack of blocks around him. Levels that look a bit like that, and you can actually punch those blocks to dissolve them and try and find ways through. But there's also these rolling enemies that go around the edge of the block, so you've got to be careful about them. There's like a wind updraft level where you've got to be careful about the different directions of the winds blowing so you don't fall through the sky. Loads of things like that. So there's quite a lot of variety. And I think it was sort of common for platformers in these days to be kind of one note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you play them and it's just like, it's just basic platforming really. You're just wandering around punching people and there's not a lot of variety to it. But it's nice.
You've seen the first level, you've seen the rest of the game basically.
Exactly. But it is nice to see every level felt unique once you get to a certain point in this game. And it was really cool because you're quite excited to see what they do next. Lots of nice little different environments and things. All the theme was quite cohesive and that sort of Zelda-ish kind of sort of ancient kind of Greekish maybe theme to it. You know, that sort of Greek mythology.
Yeah, sort
kind
of
thing.
mythology. Yeah.
Yeah, the bosses as well. There's another. Let's talk about this. There's another annoying boss later on. The one we talked about earlier, and this what I can only describe as a weird turtle dragon elephant thing that it was so hard to predict its moves. You're in kind of like quite a long area and there's platforms and he sort of jumps around, but it's really difficult. And again, the hitbox is so difficult to get close enough to him to hit him without getting hit yourself.
Yeah,
really hard. Yeah, lots of save states used there. But then there's other bosses where I just did it almost immediately. I was like, oh, really? That's over? So it's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, maybe they should have tweaked it a bit so the easier bosses, don't have the difficulty spike on the very first boss. Maybe.
Maybe just try that. Yeah.
Give it a try. See how you get on. A lot of eyeballs in it, isn't there?
Quite a lot of eyeballs. Yeah, big eyeballs. That's a bit of a theme to some of the bosses and things. Yeah, they like an eyeball.
Yeah, there's like a thing. There's like a thing. It's made of eyes and it spits out eyes.
Well, what else would it spit out?
Well, yeah, fair enough. But
Yes.
woodlouse, giant eye.
Woodlouse, giant eye. Yeah.
I don't really have any profound point to make here. I just noticed there's a lot of eyes.
There is. The music was quite nice. Reminded me of Chrono Trigger. I don't know if that's because that's what a lot of SNES games sounds like, and I haven't played enough SNES games to identify. But they're similar sort of what do you call it, instruments and musical instruments and things like that. Nice enough sprite work. Looks quite nice, Nothing to
very
complain
nice
about
sprite work.
Yeah. I did like the wall climbing move as well. It gives you quite a lot of variety. Not variety, a lot of dexterity and things, because it can climb most things. You can even climb platforms that are moving in a later level.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would have loved to have, if they'd have sort of leaned a bit more into the sort of acrobatic sort of platforming a bit, because I think it's definitely got the mechanics there to do that kind of thing.
Yes, I think it's a bit like what I was talking about earlier with Grapple Dog. There could be a bit more of a flow to the platforming, I suppose, and a bit more sort of acrobatics and spinning and jumping and flipping.
Yeah,
and things
flow.
like that.
That's exactly the right word, flow.
Yeah. But there's things you can do that are quite impressive. The wall climbing works a little bit like, I suppose, Knuckles' wall climbing in the classic Sonic games, but you don't have to, because he glides into it. You have to double jump to do it. But Sky will just latch onto a wall as soon as you touch it, which sometimes gives the opposite effect of what you want. Sometimes you just want to jump against the wall and drop down, but he tends to like to hang on to them. So you've got to be aware of that. But it does offer some platforming challenges and things that you don't normally get in games that don't have wall climbing. So I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so it's sort of a hidden gem, really. I don't hear many people talking about this game at all, really. It doesn't come up much in like lists of SNES games and things like that. But it's good. I think if it just fixed those collision problems and
just smoothing out the difficulty curve.
Smooth out the difficulty curve a bit. I think it could be really good. It would work really well as a current indie game. I think if you were to do a game like this, it'd probably end up being more of a Metroidvania, like you say, with all the different acrobatics and stuff. But you can see something that looks like this and plays like this as a current indie game, couldn't you?
Yeah,
it would
for
work
sure.
really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'd recommend it.
I'd recommend it. Yeah, definitely.
It's a nice game. How long to beat, I think, is 2 hours. I think, if you know exactly what you're doing. So it's kind of a normal platformer length, I guess. As we say, 17 levels. They're sort of they vary in length, but they're a few minutes at least.
I mean, I hold my hands up and say it could just be me being bad at the game, but I could have easily spent 2 hours just on the tower, so I don't know if I can do the whole game in 2 hours.
I think I've got about 3 levels left, maybe, and I've spent over 3 hours, I think, on it.
Yeah, I think
and that's with some heavy safe stating. So
yeah, you'll get a lot longer than 2 hours out of it.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's worth £200 to £300. I wouldn't go that far.
No,
I don't think any game really is, if I'm honest.
No, I struggle to think of many games that would justify that.
But yeah, give it an emulate. I don't think it's on. Nintendo.
No, I don't think it's
online. I think so.
I don't think it's anywhere. No,
I don't think it's anywhere. I didn't see it, so I don't think you should feel guilty about getting a little ROM of it. Yeah, check it out. It's good. Okay, so what's next on the Bottom Up podcast, Tibbs?
Well, did you purchase the game that I recommended on Steam?
I did purchase the game that you recommended on Steam.
I think that we should give that a go then.
I'm so surprised. Yeah, go on.
We're going to be trying Voodoo Vince.
Yay, cool. Yes.
I mentioned it on the podcast ages ago because I came out on Xbox One and it was on sale then on the Xbox One. It's not Xbox Arcade now, whatever it is, the online Xbox store.
Yeah.
And I bought it then, and I mentioned it as one of the games I was playing, because it originally came out on the original Xbox way back when. I was going to
say, is that where it came from originally?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's definitely got some podemup elements, the sort of games that we would like, and we both like 3D platformers. So Voodoo Vince will be the game of choice.
Looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yes, so that's good. Voodoo Vince, we'll play that next month. So, in the meantime, if you want to contact us, you can do so podemup@gmail.com. We're at podemup on Twitter, and podemup.live is our website.
Yes. Is it still up? I've got to check this, haven't I? I've let it expire again, haven't I?
I don't know. Have you paid for it?
No.
Oh, probably not then.
No, I'll do it. By the time you hear this, it will be done. Yeah,
okay. It's because I was thinking the other day, I think it was this time last year, like the Mischief Makers episode, which I think we did in October. I think we were talking about it then, and how we needed to pay for it again.
Right.
So that's what made me think of it. And then I looked on it, I thought, it's gone already.
This is the same thing as last time, though. I haven't had any emails saying, it's due to expire. I
was going to say, do they not send you emails?
They should do, I'd have thought.
Okay.
I'm not going to name and shame what registrar it is, but yeah, I haven't had any notification that it's due to expire, so I just kind of forget about it. But yeah, I'll sort that out today. Okay, cool. We'll have to remember in future then, the October time is when we need to pay for the domain name. Yeah, a domain name like podemup.live, that's like gold dust. That's going to get snapped up if we don't sit on it. Going to be cyber squatters on that, before you can shake a lamb's tail. Definitely. Is that an expression? Yeah, I think so. So, I'll do that. Yeah, podemup.live. And you can catch all our episodes on there, hopefully. And yeah, we'll see you next month for episode 48. Yes, we're getting to the point where it's hard to remember what episode we're on. Yes, it's a bit like you get to that age, don't you? When you're sort of our age as well. Actually, when you think, how old am I again? I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. It's my birthday. It's my birthday not long ago, and my dad phoned me. He's like, happy birthday. He goes, you're 48 now? I'm not bloody 48. Brilliant. Like Gordon Bennett. 48. I've never had anyone just out a whole 10 years, no. I know, honestly. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah, lovely. Okay. But yeah, so Voodoo Vince, is spooky Halloween special. Ooh. I think we're quite far off Halloween by the time the next episode comes out, but yeah. Ooh. Spooky. Spooky November. Ooh. Gonna spook you solid with Voodoo Vince. Yes. Okay. Right. We'll catch you next time then. Bye-bye. Bye.